Bridging education. Any education is a controlled learning behavior. It controls and makes to learn and institutionalizes three important things: the acquaintance with the knowledge and skills, secondly, the scope for self-employment, third one, the participation in the civil life and social life. These three are the destinies of any type of education, whether it may be general education or technical education or professional education or online education or offline education. Basically, the first one is acquaintance of the knowledge and skills. Second one is the participation in the civil life. Third one is the self-employment. Because the economies are gradually dwindling throughout the world, they are finding no choice for further expansion. Each country is racing, finding out its own fortune. The climatic changes, the environmental pollution, the growth of radiation, the variation of seasons, all are providing challenges for the general growth of the gross domestic product of all countries, and at the same time the maintenance of the efficiency, proficiency, sufficiency, immunity and longevity of the human beings. In such a situation, the policies like new education policy of 2020 are stressing on these 3 points. They want to bridge the gap between the student life and the civil life. They want to bridge the gap between the dependent life and the independent life. They want to bridge the gap between a sedentary life, a communal life. These three are the aspects which are to be justified through education. The question here is, the modern education has started with all its roots from 1850s onwards. For the past 150 years, the modern education has undergone many changes. Teaching techniques, learning techniques, and the participation techniques, they have all totally changed. The digitalization of the education, electrification of the methods, and also the motorization of the communication, they have all brought radical changes in the education system for the past 50 years. At present, the use of the online education has made it very much convenient for every person to receive everything, and the information technology has totally changed the surface of the education, the topography of the education, and the topology of the education, and the technique of the education. With this, the aim of the education has also undergone so many changes. What type of education we want? This is the most important thing. It must be a bridging education. Pre-adolescence to the adolescence, dependence to the independence, unproductive to the well-productive. The education should be well-productive, because well-productive education always makes an individual to sustain certain skills and make use those skills for his self-dependence. Then he will not be a burdensome person, either to the family or to the society or to the nation. He will be having an efficient and proficient human resources at his disposal, which can be made use over a period of time by the political community for the development of the economic order and for the improvement of the growth rate of the per capita income and the national income also. This particular education is not taught at present. Even the reforms of education are still lagging behind because the man is running away from society. He has already run away from the nature. He is running away from the society also. He is getting him very much isolated. As a result, it becomes a burden for him sociologically, biologically, and psychologically, and fourthly, economically also. In such a situation, the education system must have a change. It must have a radical change. If we take the example of a small child, the scope of a infancy, childhood, boyhood, they vary in the expression of the efficiency, in the projection of the efficiency, in the implementation of the efficiency. The same can be trained properly in the pre-adolescent period and adolescent period. So we want a bridging education wherein he cannot be a burden to him or to the family or to the state. How we have to achieve that particular thing? This is the most important question. Formerly, there was a system in India that is called as caste system. That caste system has identified a social culture, a social background, a cultural tradition, and at the same time an economic foundation. These three are the basic characters for each caste, besides the religious beliefs and social regulations and ethical conditions. This is an important point that for the past 150 years, the caste system has forgotten these five. Financial foundation is not there. Social traditions are not adopted. Cultural heritage is not taken into consideration. As a result, caste system has become weak. Otherwise, the Indian caste system provides a reservation for every individual, a profession by birth itself, not by caste, nor by adaptation, or by other skills. The son of a king will become a son. The son of a minister can become a son. The son of a barber can become a barber. The son of a farmer can become a farmer. They never felt uneasy at that particular situation because genetically, psychologically, and culturally, they are very much enrooted and articulated for that particular way of living. That style has been totally destroyed for the past 150 years. That is why the caste system, which was very much penetrating, pervading, accommodating, and amalgamating, has now become separating, segregating, deviating, dividing, and politicizing. This is the condition which must be properly understood in the system of education. We are on the verge of change. Not a change, a sea of change, myriads of change. The challenges are many, but the effects are very less. Efforts are also very less. When the effects and efforts are very less, the challenges will always be burdensome. That is the condition of the present day education. No education student or the educator is at present 100% qualified when he leaves the college or university. His knowledge is totally less than 30%. He has to add his experience, He has to add his life, he has to add his common sense, and then only he can acquire a total experience. So we want a bridging education, not simply an institutionalized education. We want an education which is more powerful in order to make the man a man and an individual, but not such education which is simply seen for as a medium for concentration and also competition. So the policy makers and the scholars and the elite must mind that their children must have a bridging education. Education must bridge the past and the present and the future. It must be in articulation with the time, physical development, social evolution, and economic growth. Such education is very much needed nowadays.